A very good morning to everyone. We are going to begin today's session. Before I start today's topic, I would like to revise what we discussed in last lectures. The ongoing topic is fiscal policy in India. So we talk about what exactly the fiscal policy is. Fiscal policy consists of mainly two things. That is taxation as an income of the government and public expenditure. It is the we can say cash outflow of the government. So central government and state government try to balance both things, and that is what fiscal policy is. But it has somewhat complicated mechanism. It has many tools which will cover by fiscal policy, and that we are discussing. After that, we talk about various objectives of fiscal policy. We talk about maintain and achieve full employment, how fiscal policy is relevant, how fiscal policy facilitates employment generation that we talk about, how prices of essential commodities and some luxury commodities will also affect by fiscal policies that we discuss. We talk about growth of economy can be facilitated by the fiscal policy. So these are the things that we have already discussed before one and two lectures. Yesterday we were talking something about mobilization of resources. So one of the prime objective of fiscal policy is mobilization of resources, mainly the financial resources. So with the help of fiscal policy, government distributes its financial resources in the economy. So this is we discussed in last lecture. We talked about taxation, how taxation plays a vital role in fiscal policy because fiscal policy is one of the important tools of, we can say, income of the government. Yesterday, I was discussing with one of the examples that government has just received 1.25 lakh crore as GST. This is historically very high, and it was unexpected for any government. But after collecting 1.25 lakh crore as GST, and the central government has just distributed almost 6,000 crore has been distributed among 23 states. So this is how mobilization of financial resources works under the fiscal policy. So taxation is all about one of the important tools for the mobilization of financial resources. And we talk about public savings. I have mentioned here the importance of public savings. How public savings is very helpful for the mobilization of resources as well as for the development of economy. So if banking system is strong, it will make the economy more stronger because banking system is the backbone of any economy. And that's why I compare two nations which have, which have different traditions in public savings. That is USA versus India. The USA people don't save too much. And that's why in 2008 there was a huge global recession. But luckily it didn't enter in India because our banking system is very strong. Our public saving habits is in good position. Indian people are habituated to have more savings in the banks. And this is what this create stronger banking system, right? So this is what we discussed in last lecture. Okay, private savings that we talk about, how government can use this private savings that we talk about with the help of treasury bills, issuance of government bonds, and all that. Government can issue treasury bills and other bonds. These are the tools to collect finance from the ordinary people, general public, and it will be utilized for the welfare of the society. That was the first another objective. Okay. Second objective from this topic we have to discuss here. Second objective is all about reduction in inequalities of income and wealth. Very first topic. Fiscal policy aims at achieving equity or social justice by reducing income inequalities among different sections of the society. We know very well that India is a diverse country. We have different traditions, and considering the economy, it is quite complicated one. And as poor people are not getting adequate facilities and opportunities, there is big inequalities between the poor people and the richest people of India. So, taxation, which is one of the important tool of fiscal policy, can help here. If you see last 2 or 3 budgets, the central government is trying to impose more tax on luxurious products, and government is trying to reduce tax on the essential, or we can say primary goods. Why? Because poor people or middle class people need to be given some benefits. And on the other hand, the rich class, they are ready to pay any kind of tax. So taxation will help us to remove inequality between the income and wealth of the general public. The thing is that India is still a very poor country, and one of the world's richest person is from India. So this is what income inequality is. Still, there are millions and billions of people are in below poverty line, whereas our corporates are progressing very rapidly. So government has to consider all these things. The gap of income of people is increasing tremendously. This is how you can control with the help of fiscal policy. Second point, the indirect taxes such as income tax are charged more on the rich people as compared to the lower income groups. Yes. Yesterday we were talking something about direct taxes and indirect taxes. So direct tax is one of the tools to get good income tax, because income tax come in direct taxes. So government can clearly visualize which particular group need to be focused. As I just said, in the budget, the prime focus of government is always very rich class, from where the government will earn in a significant manner. So as and when the need arises, government tries to increase more tax on income tax, right? Whereas the same difference can be transferred to the middle class people, lower middle class people, even for the poor people. This is how taxation helps us to keep balance between income and wealth. So that was the case with the direct taxes. Are you all comfortable with this, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that was direct taxes. Let's we talk about indirect taxes. Second point, indirect taxes are also more in the case of semi-luxury and luxury items, which are mostly consumed by upper middle class and the upper class. See, government has all the bifurcations. Government manage all these groups in a balanced manner. The aim of the government is to keep same level income over the period of time. Say, for example, fiscal, for this fiscal year, government tries to uh, keep the same level of income. See, if you offer more relaxations to ordinary people, lower middle class, and poorer class, if you reduce the tax on these items, it will really disturb the cash balance of the government. So, to compensate this one, government can impose little bit extra tax on luxury items or semi-luxury items, or we can say on middle class, upper middle class, because government will always want stable income. So taxation help us to maintain the equality between both. I think just before 2 or 3 days, I was reading one of the article of Nirmala Sitaraman that many industrialists has suggested that the prime focus of the government, especially in this budget, should be the middle class. Because if middle class starts spending, it will really give a big booster dose in the economy. So try to reduce some taxes in those commodities where middle class is purchasing too much. It is all about to increase spending of middle class people. So taxes, tax tax plays a vital role to create new demand and new spendings. Without new spendings, without new demand, the spark in the economy is not at all possible. Just imagine that tax on, we can say car, ordinary car, middle level car has been reduced. Just imagine that. So upper middle class will try to purchase new cars. So cars are now suppose little bit cheaper as compared to previous year. So this is how spending will encourage by the government. And I'm just going to give you updates about this. All the car manufacturing industries are demanding huge tax reduction for automobiles. Means right now I think it is in 18% slab. So they are uh, they are already applying to the government. So please reduce this slab. Just reduce 6%. We want GST 12% so that we can invite. more number of customers on these items. Is it done, everyone? Are you getting what is indirect taxes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Point number
Yes,
three.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Last point of this slide. The government invests a significant proportion of its tax revenue in the implementation of poverty alleviation programs to improve the conditions of the poor people in the society. See, in India, each and every government has tried its level best to give maximum benefits, maximum infrastructure facilities, and maximum primary facilities. I think this current government has done a lot on sanitizing facilities, right? Like lakhs of toilets has been established by the government. It is huge cost actually, huge cost. Government has just complete 100% electrification in India. Means each and every zone of India is getting electricity. Government is almost trying to achieve its we can say LPG facilities. Now LPG is available at each and every corner of India, especially for the poor people. There are many welfare schemes for the poor people in India, but we have to, as a commerce student, we have to remember here one thing that government needs income. Government needs balance between income and expenditure. Here, government is spending too much for the welfare of poor people. It is really huge cost, but this can be compensated through the tax on rich people and middle class people. So, fiscal policy help here to have transfer of money from rich people to poor people. It is just the medium wherein government is not making any results, no profit, nothing else. So this is the we can say second objective of fiscal policy, that is reduction in inequalities of income as well as wealth. Do you have any conclusion with this particular topic? Is it done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Point number three, price stability and control of inflation. One of the main objectives of fiscal policy is to control inflation and stabilize price. I think in one of the main objectives of fiscal policy, we have discussed this particular point, that through its taxation, price can be controlled, and through export and import duty as well, because that comes under the taxation system. This is how international trade can be controlled, and this is how price of particular commodity can be controlled through fiscal policy. Sometimes what happens, the price of particular commodity goes very high, right? And it is very essential. There is huge demand, and artificially, or we can say naturally, the price has been increased too much. So to offer these services, government tries to reduce price by reducing its tax in the concerned items or concerned products. So government can stabilize its price through fiscal policy regime. Second point, therefore, the government always aims to control the inflation by reducing fiscal deficits, introducing tax-saving schemes, productive use of financial resources, etc. This is another aspect of, we can say, uh, fiscal policy. Each and every year, government try to minimize its fiscal deficits. I have just, I was just reading about fiscal deficit. Right now, it is 135% more. Means whatever the assumption was there, because when the budget was designed, there was no pandemic in India. The fiscal deficit was at par, but 135% represents that government is spending 35% more than the income. And that is what fiscal policy is. That is what fiscal deficit is. If I simplify this one, if government is earning 100 rupees, but on the other hand, government is spending 135 rupees. Are you getting my example? What is fiscal deficit? Are you comfortable with this fiscal deficit?
Chapaiya. Yes,
Sorry.
sir.
Okay. So right now, the latest information, if I give you, fiscal deficit is 135%. That means income is 100%, where expense is 135, just because of pandemic situation, nothing else. So it has disturbed everything. The next upcoming budget in fiscal policy, government will try to manage and reduce these fiscal deficits. Another aspect of this, that is introducing tax saving schemes. You might have observed all these things. In each and every budget, government tries to encourage more savings, especially in government securities. So there are many, you can say, government schemes which has no any tax. But one of the bold decisions to be taken by this government before 2 or 3 years, that government has imposed tax on equity income. So it was a big bold step. So as many people have significant investment in share market. So if you are just dealing with equity, you are liable to pay another tax on that. So this is how, depending on the situation, to, to keep the same level of income over the period of time, government may increase the tax, may decrease the tax, or government may come into its umbrella of other products in income as well. So that is what introducing tax saving scheme as well. Productive use of financial resources. Yesterday we talked about treasury bills and bonds, fixed deposits. There are many post office savings. There are many financial resources. Government encourage people to subscribe more. Uh, we can say all these financial tools, so that more cash will come in banking system, in post offices, and indirectly it will be very useful for our economy. So this is how price can be controlled and inflation also can be controlled by just simplifying the tax designs. Is it done with you, everyone? Point number three.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you just recall my one of the example of this, uh, I think before 3 days I was discussing this. I was discussing this particular example with you. The government has just imposed 10% more import duty on all the electronical items, only imported one, whether it is components or it is the final product. So what I'm discussing, it is price stability. Government wants to control the price and can wants to control imports coming from China and other nations. And that's why if you see the intention of government is very clear because these are items which is more suitable for higher middle class and rich class. Government is planning to impose more tax on mobile components because mobile is no more, we can say, uh, primary necessity, right? If you consider poor people, it is almost, we can say, luxury item nowadays, for especially for high-end mobile phone, which is taking, as per the government parameter, more than 20 or 30,000. Government is planning to have more tax on luxurious mobile phones, especially Samsung and Apple. These are the two players which are producing very luxury mobile phones. So be ready because government is planning to have more tax on the components as well as the final product on mobile phones, televisions, and some other electronic items. So definitely this price will really increase. See, government wants to discourage all these things, and that's why government is increasing tax so that the price will also increase. So when price increase, demand falls. This is known as price stability. Are you comfortable with this, everyone? Point number three.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Naman, what do you mean by this price stability? David, what do you mean by this price stability?
Sir,
Yes.
your net is cracking. Your net is cracking. Sorry.
Okay, yes. What are your views? Akanksha, what are your thoughts on this?
Something which controls inflation and deflation.
Right, very good.
Yes, means income increases and purchasing power decreases like that.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly. Divya, what's your opinion? Harshil, Rishi, Naitik, Devam, Lisa,
The main aim of government is to control inflation by reducing the fiscal deficits and introducing tax schemes, productive use of financial resources. To this, the price stability and control of inflation can be done.
Exactly. Apurva? So this is known as virtual surgical strike. Now you can see,
Sir, you forgot me.
now you can see how many are really attending the lecture, right?
Sir, today there is heavy network problem.
Okay, okay. What about others?
Yes, sir, your voice is breaking now.
Naman, are you there?
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, we cannot hear you at all. We are not able to hear you at all, sir.
Okay. Fine. So that was point number three, or we can say objective number three of fiscal policy. Right. I think we have just 5 minutes. Okay, very quickly I'm going to end my lecture because of connectivity issue. Fourth objective is employment generation. The government is making every possible efforts to increase employment in the country through effective fiscal measures. Okay, let's continue. Investment in infrastructure has resulted in direct and indirect employment. It's very easy to understand that when government starts spending, especially on infrastructure facilities, it will really increase employment. If you see bridge construction, road construction, these particular programs last, or we can say remain, for many years. Thousands and lakhs of people are engaging, directly or indirectly, are engaged in the government programs. So, if government has sufficient fund in hand, then only government can spend it somewhere. And once spending starts in huge projects, it will really create employment. If I talk about, you can say, metro train, bullet train, these are the dream projects of this central government. I think 50 or 60% work has been done. But this will really create huge employment because more laborers are engaged with these railway construction programs. So this is how employment can be generated. Even sometimes government started new departments, new welfare schemes. So directly or indirectly it creates new employment among ordinary people. Actually, there are many aspects of employment, but that we will discuss in upcoming chapters. So investment is must. Government can invest somewhere, but only when government has sufficient cash to tax. Ultimately, matter comes at the end of the tax only, because tax is the only income of the government. So more taxes, more investment coming from the government, and that will really create huge employment in the country. Last topic of today, lower taxes and duties on small scale industry, that is SSI. Units encourage more investment and consequently generate more employment. No doubt, huge industries, large scale industries, are definitely creating huge employment. But government also encourage SSI, that is small scale industry. If I talk about Saurashtra and Rajkot, we do have more SSI and we do have more medium scale industry. We are lacking with very large scale industry or huge industry. So role of SSI is also very important. And that's why in each and every budget, government offers many relaxations, tax relaxations, or very lower taxes on SSI and medium scale industries. Because these are the industries must be encouraged by offering many subsidies, tax relaxations, and some other infrastructure facilities. This will create local employment among the local people. This will stop migration and many other benefits will come out when the government reduce its tax on SSI as well as medium scale industries. So that was the fourth objective. We have just 1 minute. Quickly, I'm going to ask one by one. Naman, are you there? Yes. Devam, Akanksha, Rishi,
Yes,
David,
sir.
David,
Present, sir.
Naitik,
Present, sir.
Rishi,
Hello, sir.
Rishi,
Yes, sir.
Divya,
Yes, sir.
Apurva,
Sir, I am also present.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Tolakya.
Lisa,
Present, sir.
Harshil,
Present, sir.
Devans.
Yes, sir.
So thank you very much everybody for coming in. Have a nice day to all.
Sir, I am present. Yes.
Yes, I have marked your presence. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir.
Yes, even me,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.